Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Today let's take a look at the new update in the PTR server. So, I must say that Ethan is actually, believe it or not, incredibly broken. Let's take a look at his kit. Okay, so there are a few changes in this game and I'll go through some of the changes as well, but we're gonna start off with Ethan. Okay, so what do you think his Magic Tune does? Okay, so let's take a look at his skills real quick, right? Chaos Sound. Okay, crap, Magic Tune is over here. Okay, let's get to Magic Tune first. Crit rate, crit damage plus 20%. This itself is already very, very strong. And furthermore, you reduce the chance of taking critical hits by 30%. Everyone becomes Everett, right, all of a sudden. And on top of that, your speed also increases by 20. What the heck? His R2 is so broken. Your entire team just gets 20 speed at the start. That's way too much, I think. Now, attacks one enemy. Damage is 90% of attack, and 60% chance of inflicting AP down minus 20%. This goes up to 80%. So very similar to some of our flow type controllers, right? For example, we have Tia, and we also have the Phantom Sisters as well, all of which have the same effect over here. Now, if the enemy is afflicted with Panic Gaze, inflicts stun for 1 turn, and if Ethan has Magic Tune, all effects from this attack cannot be resisted. So the proc chance is still going to be a proc chance, except that you do not need accuracy anymore, it's always going to land. Now let's move on to his second skill, Joyful Delight. Attacks all enemies 3 times and damages 25% of his attack per hit, with a 40% chance that goes up to 60% chance of inflicting defense down for 2 turns. Now, inflicts Panic Gaze for 2 turns. 2 turns, okay? 2 turns. And this is what Panic Gaze does. When the carrier of Panic Gaze casts basic abilities, basically their first skill, removes Magic Tune from the target, this will not miss and cannot be resisted, so they can use this as an incentive to get rid of Magic Tune from the enemy basically, right? But it also deals true damage to the carrier, which is 20% of the carrier's max HP. This is much more than I expected. I thought it was going to be 10%. But now this is actually a very powerful skill. Now, it will not kill the carrier, and damage against bosses is 5% of the boss's HP instead. Which is also insane, because if you want to compare something with like, maybe the most relevant comparison is going to be Ollie. Ollie has also about 5% of the boss's max HP based on my experiences, but of course, Ollie can crit. That's why Ollie is able to do upwards of like 200,000 damage at times. But this applies to all kinds of bosses, not just Temporal Tower bosses. It also affects Kronos. It also affects Phobetor as well. Basically any boss that can receive a debuff. So it is also going to affect, like let's say Sentinel Hunt, right? But it's not going to matter all that much because they have like a fixed 200k HP cap or something like that. So it's not really worth all that much in like those content, so to speak. Now, if the carrier casts instead, right, a non-basic ability that is his second or third skill, or they die, Panic Gaze will be removed from all allies, including the carrier himself. But this also increases the ability cooldowns of their entire team. So they either choose to use their basic attacks for 2 turns because Panic Gaze lasts for 2 turns, or they decide to just get rid of all the Panic Gaze on their team, but that's also going to increase the cooldowns of every single one of their allies. And this cannot miss and it also cannot be resisted. So they are going to guarantee increase their cooldown. That is so crazy. This is so broken. And of course, a bunch of you guys also talked about some of the ways that you can counter Ethan. And yes, I do agree that there are ways to counter Ethan. Like for example, having an Ahmed, because Ahmed cannot be cooldown extended. And at the same time, he can reduce the cooldown of your entire team. So he kind of makes up for it. But that's not to say that this Esper is super freaking broken, especially with the fact that his Magic Tune is so insane. And of course, here is his third skill. Grants all allies Magic Tune and immunity for 2 turns, but it also gets an Ascension effect, which is clarified over here. So what you can see is that whenever an enemy receives AP boost effects, if Ethan has Magic Tune, he gains 50% of that AP. So for example, if the enemy starts off with the faster Unas, the Unas pushes their AP by 30%, Ethan himself gains 15% this way. And then we can move on to the rest of his resonances to kind of explain a little bit more about like his R6, for example. So let's start off with his R2. At the start of combat, all allies gain Magic Tune for 1 turn. This is so sick because you're going to start off with crit rate buff, crit damage buff, reduce the chance of taking crits by 30% as well. And of course, on top of that, the major 20 speed advantage, which is so powerful. His R4, rock solid, damage taken minus 20%. This allows him to go into his second skill like very early on in the fight, right? So it's almost like a guaranteed chance for you to have your second skill up. And finally, his R6, whenever the enemy receives AP boost effects, all allies gain 50% of the same effect instead of Ethan himself. So what I feel like this actually means right now, and of course some of you guys have clarified as well, is that whatever AP push that Ethan receives, the rest of his allies actually get 50% of that AP push. So like for example, if Ethan pushes himself by 15% after an enemy Unas pushes their AP by 30%, the rest of your allies are going to get 25% of that, which is going to be 7.5% of their AP. So I guess this is what it does, and I think this is like super freaking broken. Ethan is like such a good Esper right now. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other events and like changes in this game so far, right? So some of you guys were wondering about the Esper Rewind. it's not gonna happen. So like I said, do not get your hopes up in terms of like Esper Rewind. That is more for like new players. So the first time that it actually came around, or rather the first time that they gave us a very powerful rewind event, which is not the first rewind event, is actually kind of like meant for new players, but because they wanted to be fair to everyone, even though it's not communicated in that sense, they decided to give all of us the rewind event as well. So we expected it to come around more often, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case. I do not know when they will ever introduce a rewind event again. Hopefully they do so in the anniversary event coming really soon. Now let's take a look at the Hunter's Depot and the Celebration Collection as well. So here's the Hunter's Depot. So essentially how this works, if you tap the eye over here, you will see that there is an upper limit of 27,000 crests that you can acquire, which requires you to spend about 6,300 stamina in total just to acquire the total amount of crests required. And this of course gives you the Greywater Hunter avatar, which only lasts for like, I think 1 week or something like that, right? It lasts for a short period of time. No, I don't think it was 1 week, I think it's like probably like 1 month. Now, I'm not sure what's the point of the extra levels, except for the fact that that unlocks more gold, so you need to buy everything else here before you can actually buy the gold, which is wild. But of course, on top of that, there is also the survival list over here where you can unlock some of the other stuff, but what's the point of unlocking level 7 to 9 basically, right? Or rather level 8 to 9, what's the point of these two? I'm not so sure. Because there's nothing hidden behind those levels, right? So as you can see, level 7 is basically what allows you to unlock everything over here. So yeah, that's about it for the Hunter's Depot. It lasts for a short period of time as well, about like 20 days, but I'm not sure that this is going to be 20 days in the actual global server itself. And let's take a look at the Celebration Collection. So we have had similar events like this in the past. So essentially, each challenge grants Bazaar Stamp points with a daily limit of 80 points. So the first 20 challenges every day grants 2 times Bazaar Stamps, which is going to give you about, I think, 40 points. So you need to do another 40 more runs of whatever every single day for you to get the maximum number of points per day. And what you can do with those points is to just exchange it for like one of these miniature gachapons, right? So there is the Nexus Crystals, which is obviously going to be super rare. There is the gold, which I think is probably going to be about 10,000. And there's also stamina, and I do feel like based on the previous event, there is going to be a cap, like a hidden cap to the number of stamina that you can obtain per day. But of course, on top of that, the cumulative collection of these points, or these Bazaar Stamps, they're going to net you some other stuff as well. So you're going to start off with 300,000 gold, you're going to get 1 of each elemental records, 3 gold records, and of course, finally, 1 reset stone as well, after accumulating a total of 500 of these Bazaar Stamps. And these are the places where you can basically farm these stamps, right? So you have your Sonic Rift, you have your Ritual Miracles, Desolate Lands, Sonic Miracles, basically whatever that you need to spend stamina in, except for the story stages, of course. So that's it for the new events, that's basically it. Now let's take a look at the new Sentinel hunt. So I'm currently in the attack phase. Okay, so there's 4 more days in the attack phase. Let's see what... Oh my goodness! Yeah! So you can store up to 12 of these. So if you feel like it, you can just do all of it on like the last day. You don't have to do it every single day, which is really nice. So this allows you to be an adult with your time management and all that. They're not going to limit you to like whatever, right? So as you can see, this is also the first time that I'm looking at this. There is going to be 6 attempts against Phobetor. There is also 6 attempts against Countess, Sonica, and the Dark Star Lord as well. And these are the rewards, right? Basically the rare ultrasonic chip, which is what you get upon defeating level 1 and level 2 ultrasonic projections. You can get legendary Abilimon ripples, gold records, elemental records, and various growth materials as well, just via the rare ultrasonic chip. And of course, you also have single match rating rewards. So I think based on your individual performance, every time you challenge something, you're gonna get something as well. So yeah, you can get like some of these equipment mystery boxes. You can get Nexus Crystals. You can also get club points this way. So let's just do 1 run of Countess Sonica, right? Since this is like the new boss. Okay, so we only have 1 team slot because we are kind of weak. So we're gonna just dump whatever and just to test this out. Okay, this might completely suck, right? But that's not what I care about. Oh, you can actually blitz. Wow. You must complete 1 battle before unlocking blitz. Okay, oh, that's cool. So that's really good. That's a really good way for you to just spam all your 12 entries every single week, right? Once you hit 12, then you can just spam it all in like blitz, which is really nice. Very good QOL change over there. So this is like Countess Sonica. First time ever. So this is like, I think like her first form because she does transform into that huge giant and whatever, right? Oh my god, we are losing a lot of HP. Why? Why is that the case? Is she attacking us? We are losing like a shit ton of HP. Why? Whenever our allies take a turn, we lose HP. So I think there's going to be a very interesting mechanic that we need to explore as well when this content actually comes around. So we have battlefield buffs, increases all Esper's attack and defense by 5%, and unlocks new products during club gameplay. Okay. Wow. Okay, that was not a lot. Okay, oh my god, I just realized that we needed a healer here. RIP. I wasn't even thinking about that. But I guess we can take a look at her skills. Prelude, attacks 1 enemy twice. Each hit transfers 1 debuff to the enemy and reduces their AP. Okay. Oh yeah, take note that she can also be debuffed. And there is also some buff that she receives. Please do not kill me, please do not kill me. Okay, great. Okay, now we move on to the second Audio Lash. Attacks all enemies twice. Each hit has a chance of inflicting bleed for 2 turns, and each stack of Searing Sight grants extra damage per hit, so it's just more damage. Searing Sight, each stack reduces damage taken, maximum 25 stacks. Okay, so once she has 25 stacks, she's gonna, like, I don't know, take very little damage, right? So it's gonna be very important for you to prevent it from happening. Okay, we lost. RIP. And of course, it's like Broken Tracks, enters Frenzy mode, and gains new abilities, then attacks all enemies, removes all buffs and special effects from them, I think it's like just like golden buffs maybe, while reducing their max HP. Now each time Countess Sonica or an enemy with Spotlight takes action, this ability cooldown -1 turn. Wow. When this ability cooldown ends, gains 1 turn. Holy shit, this is so good. Or rather, it's so hard. It's such a strong buff. So this is what Spotlight does, defense and damage is increased, and when the carrier dies, Countess Sonica's base speed increases. Okay. So I get to choose one of these sets. Very nice, very, very nice. I'm gonna choose maybe the Ocean set here. So let's see what we get. We get, okay, we get shit sets. So there you go, these, oh wow, nice, energy left. Okay, so I'm not sure how they actually calculated the energy, basically the damage that I did to her. But as you can see, my participation actually helped promote something for the rest of my clubmates, right? So now they need to attack her just a few more times and then we are kind of done. And at the same time, I can also attack the other bosses. So for example, I can attack Phobetor right now. And let's just see whether are there any differences in Phobetor as opposed to the Temporal Tower version. Okay, so right now I have a healer, right? So you can probably like survive a little bit longer. So there you go. Very similar to whatever that we have seen before. So this is Phobetor and he has Mad Ravings, attacks one enemy twice, inflicts Misrate out for 2 turns, okay. Demon Whisper, attacks all enemies 4 times, each hit dispels 1 buff and inflicts defense down. This seems similar, isn't it? Night Carnival, attacks all enemies 3 times, then attacks a random enemy 1 time, inflicts stun for 1 turn. If not affected by diseased, Phobetor gains Sweet Nightmare for 2 turns. Phobetor is immune to incapacitation effects other than sleep, and when taking a hit, sleep will not be removed and any debuffs cannot be extended. Okay, what? Does he put himself to sleep? I don't understand. If affected by sleep, Phobetor takes more damage. Oh, you can actually sleep him. Wow. Oh, this is a strat, isn't it? You can actually sleep Phobetor, so that's a big deal, I think. Sweet Nightmare, damage taken is reduced, damage dealt ignores defense. Okay, so that's what Sweet Nightmare does. How does he even obtain it again? I kind of forgot. But okay, so apparently you can sleep him, which means that... Yeah, look! He just went to sleep. Abigail just put him to sleep. And attacking him does not remove sleep, so the goal is just to use Esper that can sleep. So Celine is immediately a really good choice because she grants your team speed, and she also sleeps a lot on her kit. And she also gives herself defense buff if it's like necessary at all. But the thing is, Celine, I think she's going to be very powerful here. You cannot actually control their AP, right? I don't think you can control his AP. So yeah, this is like just my preliminary observation, of course. Maybe things would change, maybe people will discover new stuff. But obviously Abigail, Celine, they are really good. Stewart, maybe Stewart because he's able to do a lot of damage and he can sleep at the same time. On I think like all of his skills, right? Or is it like most of his skills? So yeah, possibly a really good choice there as well. Very interesting stuff. We get the same battlefield buffs as well. So yeah, that's about it. And after this, we're going to take a look at Holobattles and see what's changed as well. Oh wait, hold on. I just read this again, right? Inflict stun for 1 turn, and if not affected by disease, Phobetor gains Sweet Nightmare for 2 turns. So I guess you need to inflict disease on Phobetor, I think, right? If he's affected by disease, then Phobetor does not gain this, yeah? So I think you need to have disease as well. So disease is very, very important. So Embla is going to be amazing here. Yeah, Embla is going to be so good. All the disease debuffs, perfect, isn't it? I'm not going crazy, right? Embla is going to be excellent here. Very interesting stuff. So you can actually sleep a boss. This is a very interesting mechanic. Okay, so I think right now we have like what? 1.2 million score, right? We have 1.2 million. Okay, so let's see how much energy this amounted to. So we're gonna choose, maybe we can choose the Tyranny set. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. 6-star relics. Hey, dude, this is not bad, isn't it? Like, my account is not that jacked up, and we are able to get some good rewards here as well. So that amounted to 30 energy cost, or rather 30 energy damage, which is really, really cool. I like this so much. This is a really interesting new change. So I think one very important way for you to segregate your club members is to figure out who is better at certain content. So if, for example, only a few of you guys have Embla, then you guys should try to focus more on Phobetor. If only a few of you guys have sleep debuffs, try to focus more on Phobetor as well. And as for Countess Sonica, I'm not so sure about the strategy just yet, but it's going to be a really good idea for you to segregate the rest of your club to at least allow the rest of your club members to know exactly what they should spend their stamina on. But then again, you know, you have 12 entries. There are a total of 18 different attempts, so you can definitely pick more than just one boss, right? In fact, you can pick 2 bosses which you think you would be better at, and I think this is going to be great for like club content. Now, moving on to Holobattles. Okay, crap, unlocked at club level 8. I can't test this out. Alright, so let's take a look at what Hell mode offers us. So we can go from easy, purgatory, hard, hell. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's see what this is all about. We get 2 gold records, and of course we get 100 Nexus crystals, and we get and we get a freaking shimmer record as well. This is just the first chapter. Wow. Alright, so let's take a look at how this works. We have our first team up here, and we have our second team below as well. Okay, so there are 2 waves, which is the same. Oh my god, they are level 127. Oh my goodness. Wow, this is going to be so hard. Wow, how wait, is this even possible for us? I don't think we can even clear this. But let's just see how bad this gets. Because if they wipe us, then we get an idea of how our second team is going to come in, right? Oh my goodness, level 127 though. Very cool. It's going to be very... Oh my goodness, 25k guys just died instantly. It's going to be very challenging, I think, even for my main account. So, I mean, I'm lying, right? I have a Nusi, I'm totally lying here, but it's going to be a bit of a challenge for most players, I think. I mean, we are doing fine. We are actually beating them, right? But of course, we have the power of Nusi, and we have the power of Sienna as well. Oh my goodness! The Drew went crazy, dude! Wow! Wait, we got defeated? Wait, what? Oh! So, okay, so what I think is happening here is that your first team is going to fight their first team, and your second team is going to fight their second team. I think this is how it's going to work, right? Yeah, so this is exactly what it is. So your first team must beat wave 1, and then your second team must beat wave 2. So there is no carrying forward of your current team, so you need to win it. So I think this content is going to be very manual heavy, but it's going to be great because the rewards are going to be like so generous, right? And I wish I can see what the next chapter offers us, but yeah, I assume it's going to be the same stuff. So very nice, good rewards. Ah yes, and we also have some changes to the tournament shop, so we can buy legendary Abilimon fragments. It's gonna be the same cost, right? Just for you to obtain the same amount of legendary Abilimons every single week. But the only difference is that it's gonna be a little bit easier for players to acquire like maybe 4 out of 5 copies per week if they're not able to acquire all the points each time, right? But now that there is the knockout, I think it's gonna be a lot easier for you to acquire tournament points. So that's still gonna be fine. Oh yeah, I just realized we haven't talked about the other 2 new Espers, right? Okay, so here I have Koharu. This is going to be the new mage that's going to be really good for APEP. And as you can see, Bell Twirl, blah 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 blah. Oh wow, 100% disease and sear for 2 turns. Very nice. So this is a prayer dance, right? 50% chance of inflicting attack down for 2 turns, and grants all allies Kagura dance for 2 turns. Okay, so yeah, something like that. Whatever that we have expected. And PvE attack lead, which is okay. And we also have Jin-Hee or Jin-Hee. I'm not sure how to read her name. So she's the new baseball waifu, right? I feel like she got nerfed a little bit, don't you think so? Yeah, I do feel like she got nerfed. She's not the same. Okay, so fast ball attacks one enemy in 40% chance inflicting stun. It goes up to 60%. What the heck? That's not that good. Oh, speaking of the new Espers, I also do realize that they do not allow us to pick one of these new Espers at the start as well. It's not in the events. I'm not sure why that's the case. So I guess for us old players, we're not going to be able to obtain them because I think we need to beat chapter 1-13 for like the first time. So maybe us old players will not be able to obtain them for free. So we also have Round Slider, attacks one enemy, 70% chance of stealing 1 buff, all ability cooldowns of the enemy plus 1 turn. And this can be ascended, which is not actually stated here what the ascension is going to look like, which I think is a shame, dude. They should at least show the ascensions here as well. Now finally we have Cyclone Screw, grants each ally 1 random attribute related buff for 3 turns that's either attack up, speed up, crit rate up, or defense up. Attacks one enemy, damages 220% of attack, and inflicts Dizzy Daze for 2 turns. So Dizzy Daze incapacitated, right? When taking a hit, grants afflicted Esper's AP plus 10%. Grants afflicted Esper's AP plus 10%? Wait, she gives herself Dizzy Daze? This is so shit. Wait, what? Yeah, inflicts Dizzy Daze for 2 turns. So you're inflicting it on the enemy, right? Yeah, if not, it would say gains Dizzy Daze. But the thing is, when taking a hit, grants afflicted Esper's AP plus 10%. So the enemy with the Dizzy Daze is actually going to get their AP up by 10%. What the heck? Wait, hold on. This changes everything about her and makes her even worse. Okay, so she's kind of weird, and I guess we really need to test her out. So one more thing to take note of is that they also put a resonance over here, easy access, right? So you can see all their resonances even if you do not own the Esper just yet. So yeah, something like that. And this is so weird. Like Dizzy Daze, it's supposed to push the enemy's AP. That's so wild. That's like, what the heck? That's even worse than a stun. Okay, but anyway, I think that's about it for the changes in the PTR server right now for update 3.2.1. Let me know your thoughts and your comments down in the comment section below. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Free to Play. As always, I will see you in the next video.